Now, previously I've shown you about the other formats, okay? So now, which format we'll be doing on is the date, and secondly, we're going to show you about the security number. And you can also do it in other numbers too. You can see that this is a date format because you can see that it is date. Now, in some cases, some people don't like their year or maybe their month or maybe even the date to be shown. An example, now I will disappear or like remove the year from this format and like use the same process for each and every one of them. So what I'm gonna do is obviously use relative reference and record the macro. And how will you do it? So to do it, we're gonna go to home first and then see it which format it is on. As it is a date format, so let it be on date format. Now what I'm gonna do is just click on this use relative reference. Click on it and then just press on record macro. What I'm gonna do is just let it be on macro 1 and just press H. Okay, let's type in year because we're gonna change or like make the year disappear. Okay, just so Control H is the bind, and I'm gonna tell you again, remember to keep in mind which key you're using or which key you're using to bind the shortcut key, because if the key already has a command binded on it, it's gonna overlap that command and only gonna use the macro command. Okay, so keep that in mind and just press OK. So as it's done or doing right now, to make that sure, you're gonna always have to check on it if it's like actually recording. Now you can see that there is stop recording, not record macro, so it's recording all of the data or all of the format which you're doing, or all of the steps too. So now what I'm gonna do is click on it, and then what I'm gonna do is go to home, and as it is on the date format, to customize everything, every number, or change whichever one you want, what you're gonna do always is you can right click and format cell, or you can just go here, click on this button, and now after you see that this interface has opened up, you will always go to custom to customize the date, not from here. Okay, go to customs and you will see which format it is on. It's month, date, and year. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is delete all of them. Now what I'm gonna do is type in whichever data I want to enter. An example, if I want to start it with the date, just press in D. If I want to start it with the month, press in M. And if I wanted to start with year, type in year or Y. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is, in this lesson, I want to remove all the years. Okay, so what I'm going to do is first on type in M. Let's start with the month. You can also start with the date, it's also okay. You can also start with the year. So what I'm going to press is press M. Now you can see after pressing 1M, you can see that 11, just like this, has appeared up. If you type in another M, it's gonna still stay the same. Or if you have a single digit number here, it's gonna type in 0, 1, or if it's like 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 4 till 0, 9. So when I press M again, you will see that NOV has appeared up. And if you want it to be the long date, just press in another M and you will see the whole sentence or the whole word. My bad, not the sentence, just the word. And if you start pressing M more and more, it's not gonna do anything, just it's gonna stay on N, okay, till 5. That's November. So I just want it to be on NOV. I like it to be like this. You can also press 1 or maybe 2 or maybe 3, whichever seems to be suitable for your work. I prefer 3 M's. NOV is good. What I'm gonna do next is press in a space, and now the date. What I'm going to do is type in D. Now you will see that what 2 alphabet does. So as it is D, you will see the sample, it's 1. Press in another D and you will see it's 0, 1. So you can see that each and every letter or every alphabet you put does a difference. Okay, so if I press another D, it will turn into SAT because that's the day. Okay, and if you press in D again, it will turn into Saturday. Okay, can see that Saturday, or if you press more, nothing's gonna happen. If you type in more, just A or whatever what you want to put, you can also do that, but I prefer it to be SAT or maybe just 0, 1. Okay, that seems perfect. And when you're done with it, just press on OK. Okay, press on OK, and now you see that all of it is done. And now when you use the fill header, it's not gonna do anything, because it's like specific cell. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is go to developer tab or ribbon again, and then what I'm gonna do is stop recording. Now it is stopped recording. What I'm gonna do is just select all of it. My bad. Select all of it, and then remember the bind. I binded it to be Control H, so what I'm gonna do is just press Control H, and now you can see all of them has changed. So this is how you do it with date. If I want to change, like if I want to like add in more changes, what I'm gonna do is just go to home, and as it is put in, all of them are the same now. What I'm gonna do is just press on the, maybe like I wanted to keep it just a month. What I'm gonna do is, now what I'm gonna do is use the fill header, and now it's all November. If it has October, you don't have to like worry about it, it's gonna turn into November. Might change because it's a specific cell. Okay, so if you don't want it to be corrupted, or just corrupted, so don't use the fill header, go to macro and then change it. So macro is a lot like a fill header, but it's gonna stay like the same data, or it's not gonna corrupt your work. Okay, so you have to keep that in mind. And if I want to change it to be just a year, well, I can also do that. Just remove all of them and just press NY. Now you can see that the sample is 37926. This is the computer code for the 11/1/2003. Okay, what I'm gonna do is type in Y03, another 2003. Okay, year is not gonna change anything, so when you press OK, and now it's all done as it was all selected. If you have different, it's still gonna do the same thing, but what we're gonna do is just go to developer mode again, use relative references, and then record the macro, so it's not gonna corrupt the work. Now on the right hand, you can see that there are social security numbers. Okay, if you want to change, or maybe like make some of the numbers disappear and show into something else, maybe the stars or hashes, you can also do it. So how will you do it? So this has some difficulties, or maybe it's a bit complicated. Okay, always I prefer keeping the use relative references on when you're working. You don't have to worry, it's not going to record any macro or keep it binded to macro, because you're not recording any new. If you don't want it to like, if you forget it, just go to macros and you can see whichever macro it is, and then you can just delete or edit any one of them. Okay, I prefer it to be deleted, so I'm gonna delete it, and now I don't have any macro saved. Now what I'm gonna do is make some of them disappear. Okay, so I will show it to you in the next lesson. Now let's move on to the next lesson.